Nigerian Premier Airline Air Peace launched its inaugural Lagos to London operations on Saturday morning, marking a flight service resumption to one of the busiest and most lucrative routes from the country. Arise special correspondent Abi Olawi was there to share this initial special report.
Taking through the skies on a bold new adventure and milestone is Air Peace's Boeing 777 aircraft on its maiden flight from Lagos to London on March 30th. A momentous occasion for Nigeria's aviation sector and travelers at large, the airline held a brief ceremony at the Muritala Mohammed International Airport to herald this feat.
What we are doing here today is pursuant to one of our KPIs, which is to ensure that we support our local operators. Now, people outside the industry, they don't understand what is happening here today. This is very significant because it's been very difficult for our local operators to service international routes and, of course, to take advantage of our BASAs. These BASAs are, the bilateral service agreements, to take advantage of our BASAs that give reciprocal rights to our local airlines. And so what BASAs normally say is that when you have 14 slots into my country, they also give you 14 slots into their country. Well, that is as much as the paper says. There's what they call the politics of BASAs also, because after giving you the 14 slots into their country, in most cases they play politics with it, and in such a way that they frustrate even your being able to take advantage of that. But beyond that too, our local operators are also handicapped. They're handicapped because they don't have access to these aircrafts that these international airlines have on the same terms as those international airlines. When I say on the same terms, I mean, for example, the terms upon which they lease these aircrafts. So what we have tried to do is to ensure that we support our local operators to have access to these lease arrangements, like what Air Peace is doing today. And that is what we can start to use to crash prices on international routes.
Air Peace over the years has been very supportive of Nigerians, ensuring that they are there when there is crisis. Whenever there is crisis, you see Air Peace is there. And if Air Peace can continue to make inroads, supporting Nigerians even into countries that they didn't have established trading routes or flying routes because of the humanitarian crisis at that point, it only makes sense that we should encourage them when they actually then make trading routes or flying routes into established destinations. And I encourage all Nigerians to be very patriotic to support them. They always have to remember, we all have to remember that this is our own Nigerian aircrafts.
Joining us now on the show is Alan Onyema, Chief Executive Officer of Air Peace. First of all, congratulations and welcome to the morning show.
Thank you very much. Mr. Onyema, congratulations. We've seen the stories, positive side. Everybody is celebrating. The cost of tickets has gone down. Selling your own tickets in Naira, like the other people who are selling their own in foreign exchange because they have to repatriate funds. Then, of course, we're told Nigerian food will be served, on the flight. So different people have different reasons to be excited. But, the road to this moment, I don't think was just smooth like that, the way everybody is jubilating. We must have faced some challenges before we got to this point. Will you take us through some of those challenges? And then secondly, the last time a Nigerian airline flew that route, was 7 years ago. That was Medview. And there were issues with Medview. Have you done a review of those circumstances that led to the failure of Medview? So challenges and a review and lessons learned from the past experience of Medview so that this can be a sustainable operation.
Thank you very much. Happy Easter, gents and lady.
Happy Easter.
The truth is, if I dwell so much on I would like to look forward because if you start discussing all the challenges that faced us towards achieving this London route, honestly, you feel like crying, you feel like weeping. First of all, you suffer what I call both internal and external conspiracies. It took us 7 years. We got the designation, I think, about 6.5 years ago to go into London. Since then, it has been cat and mouse game. We actually procured our 3 777s because of this route, not for any other route, because we wanted to give it the blow that it deserved as at that time. However, we were not allowed to go. It's not just, whether you like it or not, there's what we call international aeropolitics, which is very dirty. We applied to get, for the TCO. TCO means Third Country Operators Permit. You must get that, excuse me. You must get that one before you start going into any European country, UK inclusive. And the TCO organization from Europe wrote our Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority. Do you know Air Peace? Do you know about their designation? And we were denied. My own country denied us. So they threw it back. Went back to the NCA. They said, oh, we didn't tell you. You didn't tell them. Who designated us? The Minister of Aviation, the Federal Minister of Aviation, whose duty it was, and still is, to do that. Well, we said, okay, we are ready. They refused. They said, until they allow us to apply. So, you got designation from the federal government, and the NCA, under the same federal government, was telling you that you should not make an application towards going into the UK. Meanwhile, you gave us the nod to go to China, go to India. China is 14 hours, about 13 hours going to Guangzhou and 14 hours coming back. India is about 12 now because of the closure of the Sudanese airspace. About 12 going, about 13 coming back. Yet, you didn't find this airline worthy to go into the UK. 6 hours, piece of cake. For an airline that is doing over 160 hours of flying daily in this country, no other airline in the entire West and Central Africa does that much. 160 hours of flying, unblemished, no issues. 46 hours, yet they stopped us. So the game is both from within and without. We were stopped. I would never stop saying it. So we continue this cat and mouse game with the NCA until Captain Musa Nuhu, during his time, said enough is now enough. APs must be allowed to go in. What is the issue? Remember, they told us to, okay, when the heat became so much, when I gave them a lot of heat, they said, okay, you need to prove to us that you'll be able to pass the TCO. For goodness sake, if I don't pass the TCO, it doesn't mean anything, then I leave. But allow me to go. They said, no, we must prove to them that we're able to pass the TCO. I said, okay, you come and audit us based on the TCO standards. They said, no, you have to get IATA, some consultancy firms from IATA to do that. IATA must conduct that and give their results. We paid, I'm sure it cost over 200 million. We brought IATA. IATA conducted a TCO audit on Air Peace dump. Remember, we are IOSA certified, so I don't know why the need for that. We passed. It took several months before IATA even came. We passed. Then they wrote to NCAA that you should allow them to proceed to go and do the audit with the TCO Europe. They didn't respond. Several months passed, going up to a year. We went back to them and told them that, look, it is better you come out and say why the reason for all this, or I'm going to the press and say it, and I withdraw. But mind you, this country is being fleeced by all the airlines going to London from this place. People were paying 5 times more than they should have been paying. All sorts of reasons you are being given to this. And you say you don't have capacity. You have 3 777s, worth several hundreds of millions of dollars lying out there, fully purchased by this airline. That was when they said, okay. We are now going to audit you ourselves. Not minding the result of the IATA people they recommended. At first, I didn't want to acquiesce to that. My chief operating officer, Mrs. Toyin Olajide, said, Oga, please, let's follow them. So I agreed. They came and audited. No, nothing, of course. They found nothing. It was at that point, Musa Nuhu said, enough is enough. Airpeace must be allowed to access the London market, and cancelled whatever the other people put in place and allowed us to go. Now, the British people came with their TCO audit. They didn't spend 48 hours with Airpeace. It's one of the most stringent audits you can think of. When you said, what have we learned? The difference between us and some Nigerian airlines that went there in the past was that they didn't have that TCO audit. They didn't have, though that was not enough to have made them to go down. And their going down was not because they were not good. I will tell you, even in the last 1 week, what we have seen, if we are not, if God is not with us, we would have said, okay, let's go. Let's close it before we start losing money left, right, and center. Those Nigerian airlines were dealt with under the dirty international aeropolitics, and they suffered for it. So I knew all this, and I said, I must go bona fide into the UK. I must get it as of right. When you get the TCO, if you pass it, FCOP, that your permit now to operate, that is the best. But do you know when we applied, the UK people told us, you know, this TCO is true. You may not be able to pass it like the other Nigerian airlines. You may not be able to get it. Why not look for partnership or get wet lease from a UK carrier or European carrier? Once you fall to that trap of depending on wet lease loan for your operations, they will deal with you. They could use those people. They wake up one morning and tell you that, you know what, for one reason or the other, we cannot continue. Yeah. And your operations are destabilized. Yeah. And they treat you so condescendingly. But Airpeace went in there very strong. We passed the TCO audit. There was nothing they could do. In fact, there was the day they wrote us something that would take about 39 pages, expecting us to take about 2 or 3 months to complete it. We completed it in 2 hours because these were processes we are used to. I keep on telling Nigerians, the safety protocol in Airpeace is second to none in the world. It's unfortunate that we don't believe in our own. Those 777s you're seeing are being maintained by the world's most expensive and the best MRO, the Israeli Aerospace Industries. I pay that much because I want safety. Our safety department, our engineering departments, the maintenance departments are top-notch. If I'm lying, let NCS say so. After all, ICAO came to Nigeria. Who did they audit? It was Airpeace. If we had failed, Nigeria would have failed. So Nigerians should start believing in their own. This penchant for slave mentality and colonial mentality, believing that we cannot get it right. It's a lie.
All right, let me come in here because, thank you for taking us down, even though you didn't want to revisit the past, but I think it was quite important for this conversation to share with us the journey to getting to where you are so people can appreciate even more, the fact that we're celebrating the first, at least on Saturday, the first Airpeace flight to London Gatwick. Now, since Saturday, you've had 48 hours operation. I would assume or imagine that even in this 48 hours, it might seem like maybe 48 months in terms of what you've experienced. And just touching on where you left off as to how well have Nigerians embraced this, airpiece going to London. And we see the impact already. Some foreign airlines, even though there are many reasons given for the drop in airfares, but I think we've begun to see the significance of this flight. So please share with us, what has the experience been like in 48 hours? Have Nigerians embraced this, both home and Nigerians in the diaspora?
Normally, when you start a new destination on your inaugural flight, when coming back, you may have a lot of people going in, but when coming back, you might fly empty.
Yeah.
On the first day, you might fly less than 10% of the capacity of the aircraft. But that wasn't the case here. Our flights are already sold out into over a month. Coming into, in fact, sometimes we block seats, we block sales. So Nigerians have embraced this. Nigerians are happy. It's as if some kind of burden has been lifted off their shoulders. A situation where Nigerians were paying, my own staff paid 15 million naira on business class for a 6-hour flight to the UK. Some people paid 17 million. Then because some people couldn't pay, Nigerians were going to South Africa, fly 6 hours to South Africa, come from there, overfly Nigeria Airspace to go to London, another 9 or 10 hours, just to get a cheaper fare. Nigerians were going to Morocco, Egypt, Qatar, 8 hours to Qatar, layover about 3 hours, you do another 8 hours to the UK, just to get something cheaper. Then if you want to fly direct, it's a different ball game. The humongous fare was unbearable for them. When we came on stream, and this is why we say support your indigenous operators, they will do well. When we came, and the only ones that can save the country. When we came in, what we did was, assuming we slashed the 15 million to 10 million, people will still clap for us. But no, we brought it to where it belonged. We brought it down to 4 million naira. We are not losing by doing 4 million naira. That I can tell you. We brought it to 4 million naira, brought the other one, that's business class, from 4 million, the other one from 1.2, and at the same time giving students rebate. So immediately, the same airlines that were giving dollar as an excuse for the fleecing of my country came down within 24 hours. Airpeace distorted the market. All of them started coming down within 24 hours, started begging people, doing social media, brands all over the place, and brought their fares from 15, 17 million to 5 million. Now even begging people to come on. So Nigerians embraced Airpeace. Yesterday at the airport I met someone who told me, look, Alan, God will bless you. Look at my family of 6. I had to cancel my flights with one of the direct carriers. With all the money they subtracted from my cancellation, I still made gain flying Airpeace. What I would have used in flying 2 members of my family, I'm using it to fly 6 members of the family. Thanks to you. That even now, if I want to go back to those carriers to fly, it has become far cheaper. So, Nigerian, when you say what has it been like?
Yeah.
Right from the day we announced we published our fares, even that inaugural flight got sold out within days. It got sold out within days. And even up to September. So the traffic is there. However, the last 48 hours has not been easy. First of all, you are told by Gatwick Airport to deposit 3 million or 2-point-something million pounds before you start. For goodness sake, those British Airways and Virgin, are they paying that amount of money to Nigerian airport as security deposit? And when you ask them, I say, okay, when are we going to get this money back? And they will tell you, no, until you stop flying to Gatwick, until you stop flying. So for the rest of your life, you put there. So we started negotiation. They brought it down to some level. The fact is that all the ground handling, when they want to deal with you, they use everybody around you. The ground handling companies, you must pay this and that as security deposit catering, 740,000 pounds. That's over 1.6 billion. A security deposit that they will keep forever. It's not as if they'll be drawing down from the money. I've never seen such a thing before, and they don't do it to other people. That's the truth. So they let all this. In fact, on our inaugural flight out of London, we were given a particular place for check-in. For the past 1 month, we knew this would be our check-in. That was where the trainings were done, everything done. Then a few days to the inaugural flight out of London, you changed it and gave us a place where the carousel was not working. On our first day, we left this country. We wanted to make sure we post 100%, not 90, on-time departure, going to London and coming back. On the first day out of Nigeria, with all the fanfare at the airport, we didn't delay our flight. We went right before time. And we arrived UK 20 minutes before time. But the check-in process was cumbersome because they put us in a place where you have to check in somebody, then carry the load manually to go and drop in another place. They made us pass through all this. The next thing, your boarding gate, they say, oh, the system has broken down, it's not working again. All those antics. If they don't use them, they use the to me, they should allow us be. That's the truth. But these are unspoken. These are unspoken. You might expect more. They can even use your catering.
Okay.
So it doesn't end there. But it's been good. We are trying to roughen it out roughing up with them.
Okay, good. So I'm happy you made some clarification because I started seeing some, narrative being pushed around that you have to partner with some local European airlines, sort of like a, lease agreement to go in. So it is totally Air Peace, totally our own indigenous crew, totally our food. I can see some very sumptuous Nigerian foods there,
Goat meat pepper soup.
Goat meat pepper soup. Oh, that's really lovely. In the skies, Dr. Batsi. I'm sure you would want to do that. So totally all of our thing out there. Secondly, I'd like to ask, because I had a chance to fly the last airline that went in there, that was Medview. I had flown them to London a couple of times. And these are the same politics too they played with Medview that they've started with you. My question will be, who are those who fight for you in Nigeria? I saw the Minister of Aviation there. Is he fighting, for Air Peace and Nigeria? Secondly, the government of Antigua even called you to come and partner with them as regards their airline. When is Nigeria going to call you and say, this thing we're trying to do with Ethiopian Airline that we got burnt for, why can't you take it over? Because you've shown capacity. As a local airline, you're going to Mumbai, you're going to Guangzhou, now you're going to London. You were talking about prospects of probably next year going to Frankfurt in Germany, Amsterdam, cover most parts of Europe, probably Paris, Charles de Gaulle. When will the government now say, this is our own, let us support him, let him be the carrier for Nigeria?
Well, let me start from your last question. The truth is, yes, we need government support. All the Nigerian airlines, we all need government support. However, on the issue of singling out Air Peace to be the national carrier, we're not interested. Let Nigeria support the indigenous airlines. We are flag carriers. Air Peace is a flag carrier. Max Air is a flag carrier. Asman is a flag carrier. When you fly out of your country, you become a flag carrier. Those ones do Jeddah, they do Hajj, they're all flag carriers when they're doing such things. Why I say so is that in America, you don't have a national carrier. They have Delta and others. They support them. Even British Airways and Virgin are not national carrier, but the British government supports them. If you touch Delta here, America will bring its might to bear on you. If you touch Virgin Atlantic, Britain will do the same thing to you. They won't say it belongs to Richard Branson. Nobody says that. In our own country, what we are pleading, I like when you said support, let them, the ease of doing business, let them even do that for the indigenous airlines and see us blossom. Instead of bad-mouthing these airlines that pass through all manner of problems, let me tell you what happened yesterday at the international airport when our own aircraft landed. Thank God I was there. This thing had happened before. We reported to FAN, and let me excuse the leadership of FAN here. Mrs. Olubumi Kuku is doing fantastically well. Himself and the director of air operations, Captain Abdullahi Mahmoud, they are pained. They are pained with the wickedness in the system. Civil servants. The wickedness in the system is thinking. Your only carrier doing international operations in Nigeria would land and you keep us somewhere in the bush, disused side of the airport, and expect us to be busing passengers, bringing rickety buses to come and take international passengers to the new terminal, where these foreign airlines rejected when they opened. It was Air Peace, because it's my country, that decided to go in there. They begged Air Peace to do that. We went in there. When they did the runway, they wanted to do runway analysis after the lighting. It was Air Peace Nigeria begged. They didn't have money to fuel a 777. A 777 consumes about 8,800 liters of fuel per hour. It was Air Peace they brought to come and test it. We even told them, let's use our smaller planes because of the cost. They said, no, it's a 777 they will need. We did it free of charge. I don't want to enumerate things we've done for both the government and people of this country. Now, the new airport, you will park us 2 kilometers away from the terminal. Then you expect us to be doing bus, whatever. That plane that landed yesterday, it would have taken about 6 hours for people to exit that airport. Because first of all, they put us near Nako Shed, very far. Nobody is using that end. No aircraft, not even foreign or local, nothing there. That was where they told my pilot to park. Meanwhile, C-23 at the new terminal was open, where you can just park the aircraft and the Avio Bridge will key in. And when my captain called, he said they reserved it for a foreign airline. I said,
Really?
Yes. Quote me.
At the expense
At the expense of a Nigerian airline.
A Nigerian airline?
Yes, they did it before. They did it before. One of my captains, Captain Kalisto Sifai, disobeyed them. And they wanted to punish him. I came out. And Olubumi Kuku and his team, his management, criticized that. In fairness to her, they criticized that. Now it happened again yesterday. Our aircraft from London was to be packed in one bush 2 kilometers or so, or 1.5 kilometers to our terminal. Full flight. Full flight. So imagine the time it would take to take people from that place to the terminal building. Imagine the time it would take to offload before you start going into the carousel that are not even working very perfectly okay. It would have been taking about 9 hours. Nigerians would have hated Air Peace because they wouldn't know. And that was the game. So you are contending not with external conspiracies. There are internal conspiracies within Nigeria. Some Nigerians they are praying that we fail. But the good thing is that nobody is God. And the good thing is that 90% of our countrymen and women are very happy. That's our consolation. But there are people out there, but they are in the minority, so negligible. I don't even bother about them because they cannot scratch Air Peace. Whatever they write or whatever they do cannot scratch this airline. But it happened yesterday. And when the woman discovered it, she was livid with rage. I mean, the MD of FAN. So, but look at what I did. I called my operation control center who could reach the pilot because I couldn't connect with the pilot. I called my OCC. I told them, tell that pilot not to move that aircraft. Block that taxiway. No airline in the world would have been able to park yesterday. And that was what happened. British Airways landed. That was when they started making moves to tell us to go to where we rightly belonged. And remember, this woman had said on television, they had that, when she said that a place had been dedicated for Air Peace as the home airline. When you go to Britain, you have entire Terminal 5 for beer. Then in my own country, some civil servants or some people didn't see. And the DG of the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority was on board my aircraft. About 4 senior staff of NCA were on board of that aircraft. And he had to go because they delayed the flight about 30 minutes. Standing in one place for 30 minutes. What kind of country is this? So when the DG who was on board contacted the captain to know what is happening, and I think he went into the cockpit, and they called the people in tower, the airport control people. And the captain told the airport control that even the DG of NCA is on board this aircraft. And the guy said, and so what? That will show you some people's determination not to, they don't see beyond their noses. But that wickedness will not last. And one thing is that anybody that fights me or fights anything I'm interested in will have himself hurt and regretful at the end of the day.
Well, I mean, the thing that is surprising is that isn't there a mechanism in place to make sure that this kind of thing does not happen again? Yes, Nigerians can be very cruel towards their own compatriots. But if there's a system in place, then that system will make sure this does not happen again. After all, Festus Keyamo, the Minister of Aviation, was at the inauguration of the flight, and he was pledging support when he was talking about reciprocity and all of that. And we're hoping that maybe the Nigerian authorities will also reciprocate with regard to this security deposit. Those are the kind of details they can work on to make sure that they provide necessary support. But he mentioned BASA. Keyamo, when he was talking, mentioned BASA. The UK has 21 slots coming into Nigeria per week. Now, British Airways alone does 14 into Nigeria. So how many slots do you have now to go into the UK? That's one. The second thing is the Aviation Roundtable is proposing what they call a Fly Nigeria Act, by which the Nigerian government, both at the national level and at the state levels, will make sure that any government official that is flying at government expense would travel with a Nigerian airline. Okay. What do you think of that proposal? Even if the individuals say they have the choice. But if government is paying, do you think we need that act?
Fine. Let me just a second digress. And Rufai asked me a question about the support from the minister. The truth is that the minister is very supportive. And because he's very supportive, some are even accusing him of, are you sure you don't have shares in Airpeace? Some within the system, within the same aviation. So, and that they don't know that what Airpeace is doing is searching for the entire industry, because the sky is open for all of them. If Airpeace does not get it right this time, it will be very difficult for any other Nigerian airline, because we know what we have put in place. So the young minister is doing his bit. He went with us to the UK when they were giving us slots of 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. He went to them and said, look, if you continue this, we will reciprocate in equal terms. He made it clear. So he has been out there. The trip he made to France was to seek the collaboration of lessors worldwide so that they could be leasing planes on dry lease instead of wet lease to Nigerian airlines. When I see some write-ups, people say, oh, Nigerian Airlines, they are doing lease, all this Delta and the rest, they show capacity, they own their planes, they own nothing. All those legacy airlines all over the world, they don't own those planes. What they do is they make order, say 100 planes, give the specification they want on those aircraft. Then, of course, a finance company comes in, these lessors, they pay for those planes, lease them to them, they operate for a good number of years and return them. They'll be paying lease rental. That's what they do. Those airlines don't own those planes. Quote me, they don't own them. They belong to lessors. They later return it after some years. So in Nigeria, if you lease aircraft, they say, oh, you've committed crime, you've done this, you've done that. Give it to Nigerian Airlines. We own our planes. I own over 30-something planes, and I have about 33 orders paid for, that are on the line coming. So at the end of the day, Airpeace will be owning over 60 aircraft. I don't think there's any airline in Africa, in fact, most part of the world, they don't own it themselves. They are financed. While in Nigeria, you're expected to do this. That's why the capacity is not increasing the way it's being done abroad. And this is what Festus Keyamo is trying to do. This president will praise Keyamo at the end of the day if he succeeds in getting that. Because ECA visited me. They said, Airpeace, we see what you're doing. You're very strong. We know country risk. Because of country risk, that's why they're not giving dry lease to Nigeria. Instead, they will do wet lease. Now, wet lease is very expensive. It's very, very expensive. But you have to do it because you don't have access to dry lease. You have to do this to support your operations. Like even in the London thing, we are bringing North Atlantic to partner with us as backup, not as the main act. Because you want to be strong. What if one day any of your 3 aircraft, anything happens to them? You don't want to disappoint anybody. And when you do such things, Nigerians will be criticizing this. They've forgotten that Virgin Atlantic and Delta are doing the same thing. France and KLM are doing the same thing.
Air France, KLM.
Air France, KLM are doing the same thing. So, and it's not for free. You pay for those things. There are other areas they use you too. So you pay for those things. It's not an arrangement where you go and bring somebody from behind the door to come and be running international operations in your country. No, it's not the same
So
thing.
you have that wet list with North
Yes, I have it as backup.
Okay.
As backup. So if you have any issues, you can key in through the other one. They can key in through us too, if there are any issues. Then about, you talked about
about slots. How many slots do you have into Gatwick?
Yeah.
Under the principle of reciprocity.
We are doing 7 now, daily flights into Gatwick. Nigeria, we have a balance of about 14 to do. We are ready. If the government gives us Abuja, London, I will do it. I will do it because we are expecting more aircraft into the country. Purchased by Airpeace. Purchased by Airpeace. We will do it. If we get it, we'll do it. Like we are planning to hit New York or Houston towards the end of the year. Because we are bringing in more 777s. As I speak to you, my staff that in California, the Engineering Technical Services Department, that in California now inspecting some 3 777s we want to acquire, want to buy. So if we could get them in the next 2 or 3 months, then of course we are good to go. Anyway, you have six of them.
But what do you think of this Fly Nigeria bill?
Of course. In America, as an American public officer, you are never allowed to fly any other airline except an American airline. You don't do that with public funds. If you're traveling on your own, it's a different thing. But if you're going for government business, you're traveling, it must be yours. So in this case, if there are Nigerian airlines going to certain destinations, they should be told to use those Nigerian airlines. That will help to conserve our reserves.
Yeah.
Then the civil servants you talked about civil servants frustrating operations. We are all Nigerians. These civil servants, have you seen them? Are you planning to see them and see them regularly? In Nigerian fashion. Because they will say this man has just launched a route to London before our very eyes here, and he has not come to see us. I mean, this is Nigeria. Virgin Nigeria left here, or is it Virgin Atlantic? One of the complaints was that it was difficult to do business. And you are in Nigeria, you know the terrain. I mean, these civil servants, they also expect they are not just Urubome Kuku and the people who are doing the
I said something the other time when you said most lucrative route. It may not be, it may be most lucrative because they've been allowed to make it most lucrative. The costs are high also over there, but they've been allowed over time by shutting out indigenous operators and doing it on themselves and then charging all manner of fares that made it very lucrative. But now that we've come in, it won't be as that lucrative because our return, fixed cost, is 372 million. Fixed costs of those planes flying out of Nigeria and coming back, fixed, not variable cost. It's 372 million naira. Yes. On the 372 million. So if so you have to distribute this 372 million naira along the seats to be able to make sure you cover your costs. So now that we've come in, it will not be as lucrative as it used to be. But APIS has done something for this government. President Tinubu was being bad-mouthed by some foreign interests, especially airlines, on the issue of these trap funds. Not only trap funds, the exorbitant fares that we are charging Nigerians. They say, oh, because your dollar, your naira has been devalued and your naira doesn't have value anymore, you must pay us in dollar, or you pay naira as humongous as they wanted. Each time a Nigerian was going to buy these tickets, they were bad-mouthing our president. They say it was the president that caused it. Now, APIS came, the dollar was still the same 1,600 and something as at the time we brought down these fares. We brought it down. They followed immediately within 24 hours, brought it down to 5 million. So did the dollar change at that time? It never changed. So they were actually demonizing our country for nothing. So APIS has saved billions for this country. Billions of money that would have left this country. Billions of naira that this would have used to go into the market and buy dollar at any amount because they made so much gain.
How do you cope with these issues real quickly?
Well, that is where we need government support. Just like Egypt did. Egypt, they gave their airlines a window to get forex so easily. In our own case, we don't have it. We still have our own money trapped in the central bank. We still have our own money not being paid by Hajj 1 year after operating the Hajj. Meanwhile, the president has released this money.
Central Bank has not paid you. Central Bank has not paid you part of money only.
They've not paid us our 14 million trapped that we made, this bidding, forward bidding.
Okay.
You have my naira borrowed at 26%. Now Fidelity has changed it to about 30%. Borrow that money is there. Dollar, you didn't get back. Naira, you've not gotten back. I'm a Nigerian airline trying to see what I can do. We need that money released to us.
On that note, Mr. Allen Onyema, I would like to thank you very much for joining us. Although I see you dodge my question
Which
about
one?
those civil servants, whether you will see them.
Well, the civil servants should be told that what we are doing will help the politics.
Yeah.
It's not about Allen Onyema. APIS is no longer owned by Allen Onyema. It's owned by the over 220 million Nigerians. It's not about me. Because if Allen Onyema and APIS, if we shut down today, I'll be releasing into the over 50,000 people, both direct and indirect employment.
Yeah.
You don't know who will be the next armed robber, the next kidnapper, the next suicide bomber.
So it's for those civil servants to be patriotic and to concentrate on their jobs instead of waiting for people who do business in Nigeria to come and see them. Thank you very much, Mr. Onyema. We wish you very well.
Hello guys, welcome. I'm pulling up the next video so we can watch that. I wanted to talk about Onyema a little bit today because man, that man we have to give him his flowers. Please, every Nigerian, if you're in Nigeria, if you're buying tickets for your people in Nigeria, please let it be APIS. If they are going to London, I beg, make una patronize the man. Our own be that too. It's our own, no. It's our own, no. It's not outsider own. I beg, make una patronize am. I can't wait for him to come to this my side. If he come New York, I go buy ticket from here, go New York, fly internationally. Omo, that's the end. I don't need to take any other foreign airline. I beg, I dey beg una. Ha.
Everyone tonight, we'll delve into dynamic landscape of the aviation sector and its profound ripple effect on the economy, particularly in Nigeria. Since the momentous launch of APIS Airlines Lagos to London route, we have witnessed a seismic shift in both air travel accessibility and economic dynamics. The introduction of this route has not only expanded travel opportunities for Nigerians, but has also sparked a notable impact on airfare prices as more carriers compete in these lucrative routes. We've observed a gradual decline in ticket prices, making international travel more affordable now for passengers. However, beyond the immediate implications for travelers, the ramifications extend deep into the aviation and economy sectors. Increased competition fosters innovation and efficiency within the aviation industry, while simultaneously stimulating economic growth through enhanced connectivity and trade opportunities. Tonight, we explore the multifaceted impact of this development on the Nigerian aviation and the broader economy. I'm being joined by the proprietor and the CEO of Air Peace Airline, Mr. Allen Onyema. Thank you so much indeed for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much.
We need to roll the drums and perhaps what they didn't do to your aircraft in Gatwick. Traditionally, they're supposed to give you a water salute, but that didn't happen. Would have given you a water salute, but you'd be so wet on national television. But kudos, congratulations on that achievement. When we see one of our own locally doing something good, we must together join our voices to say kudos, congratulations, Mr. Onyema.
Thank you very
much.
much.
What has been the experience, though?
Well, I have to say, not just congratulations to Air Peace or Allen Onyema, but congratulations to Nigeria. Congratulations to the government of the day and all well-meaning people of Nigeria. This country has been fleeced over time. And I'm a student of Martin Luther King, who says that unless you bend, no one rides you. We've bent for them for so many years. This is the time for everybody to stand up right so that nobody will ride you. What we did in the last 3 weeks and what is happening now is an eye-opener to everyone. That nobody can come and make your bed for you. We have to make that bed ourselves. And however you make it, so shall you lie on it. A situation where we allow this to happen for over 20 years now, or since the nation was born, is unacceptable.
I mean, when you say there are those who say, oh, it's a fit for Air Peace, and Air Peace is going to be making the money. But when you say that, congratulations to Nigeria and Nigerians and to the government, what do you mean? What benefit does it have for Nigeria and Nigerians?
Yes, like I've always said in the past couple of days, it's no longer Air Peace. Air Peace belongs to over 220 million Nigerians. What Air Peace did 2 weeks ago is benefiting the entire population of Nigeria, benefiting the government of the day, is benefiting the people of the day. For example, you were paying 15 to 17 million naira for business class going to the UK 6 hours flight, paying about 6 million for premium economy and about 4 to 5 million for economy. So 6 hours flight before now. Unacceptable. Then you go over to Ghana, you go over to Lome, you fly cheaper, more than half the price. You go to South Africa, 9 hours from Johannesburg to the UK, you pay less. Now, the direct airlines, we are taking 17 million business class, 15 million business class, 6 million economy, 5 million economy. Those who are going indirect, when you start going to Qatar, 8 hours, you suffer some 3 hours delay over there, or layover. Then you go to do another 8 hours to London just because you want to cut the cost. You go to Ethiopia, some 5 hours, you stay there for about 3 hours, you do another 6 hours or thereabout to the UK. You go to Morocco, you go to Egypt. In fact, Nigerians had even started going to South Africa, 6 hours down the line, then you come up and fly over Nigeria 9 hours. They were suffering. They were paying through their noses. Even the indirect airlines also cashed in on this because they were offering business class for 8 million. Nigerians were, oh, this one is cheaper. They were offering economy for, say, 4 million or 3 million. Oh, this one is cheaper. Then Air Peace came on board. Air Peace could have, if not for patriotism and that nationalistic instincts in Air Peace or principles in Air Peace, we could have done 10 million business class, and Nigerians will clap. They say, oh, APC is cheaper. Would have cashed in on it.
How much did you charge for business class?
4 million.
How much did you charge for first class?
4.5.
Wow. And economy, premium economy?
Economy, 1.2 million, starting from 1.2 million. So we brought it down. Remember, the foreign airlines told you that was because of dollar, the exchange rate. They were selling so much. So apart from our people paying through their noses, another thing this did to the economy. This dollar problem was not Tinubu's creation. I said it before now, and I've proved it to the entire world. People were blaming President Bola Tinubu. It was, I mean, a play of both internal and external conspiracies. These airlines were taking into the market a lot of money, chasing dollar every day, buying at any amount.
But they're always complaining that their monies are trapped with CBN.
I'm coming. But it's no longer CBN now. They take their money from their commercial banks, go out there in the market, buying dollar at any rate. And that was putting a strain on the Naira. Now, APs did this. Everybody came crashing from 17 million to 5 million. Dollar did not change at that. Using dollar as reason for whatever they were doing to us. The dollar didn't change overnight. Yeah, they came down to 5 million. Now they're even selling, they're underpricing now. Some are advertising $350.
Just to take it.
So that's why I said
frustrate you.
Exactly. That's why I said, that's why I'm saying congratulations to Nigeria on two.
This year, I got serious about my taxes. I met with the TurboTax expert because I had two full-time.
On two levels. One is you're no longer, you don't have to sell your house to fly to the UK anymore. Two, the dollar has come crashing. We've proved that if only we are patriotic in this country, we cannot do it. It's not for the government alone to do. Play your part. That's why congratulations, Nigerians, because this country, we've achieved something collectively as Nigerians.
All right.
And the government have been supportive.
One of the things, of course, I mean, as you can see on the screen, is that this is a brand new Boeing aircraft. One of those aircraft that AP said they've purchased, perhaps the kind of similar experience that you probably will get on some other airlines is what APC is giving. And so that the question is that those who will say, Mr. Oyema, don't rejoice too yet, because what you have just raised is those experts who have said, we've seen other Nigerian-owned airlines who have gone through this route and frustrated out of the market. The same strategy is being employed right now by some of those foreign airlines to drop the price so that people will now leave Airpeace and go to those foreign airlines. Are you aware of those tactics?
Of course. Of course. It's a very devilish conspiracy. All of a sudden, people are airlines are underpricing. Underpricing. That is below the cost.
Yes, in the space of 1 month.
Yes, not up to a month. One other airline was advertising $100. Another one, $305, $350. If you fill up the entire aircraft and carry people on the wings, it's not even enough to buy your fuel. So why are they doing that? Their governments are supporting them. Their governments are supporting them because Nigeria has been a cash cow for everybody. Their governments are supporting them.
They come here, they fleece the country, and they even have opportunity to fly just around the country.
Yes.
The way you will not, as a country, you're not doing that.
So their governments are supporting them to do this and take a piece out. The idea is to take a piece out. And the moment they succeed in taking a piece out, Nigerians will pay 20 times over once again. It's going to happen if, God forbid, they're able to take a piece out. Because what is happening now is scary. And of course, even in Gatwick where you are you given 100% cooperation? Let me tell you this. On the first day, on the inaugural flight out of London, 24 hours to the time, they moved us to another check-in area other than the place assigned to us. The place they gave us, the carousel was not working. So when you check in people, you need to manually carry the load to go to 50 meters away to go and drop it somewhere else, just to delay you. No other airline faced that.
Frustrate your operation.
Exactly. No other airline faced that.
And the fact that
they can even use your ground handlers.
They didn't even allow you they didn't permit you to land in Heathrow. To operate in Heathrow.
Of course. That one is, they will tell you no slot. Even Gatwick, when we got to Gatwick, we now said, okay, let us take Gatwick. They say, oh, no slot available. When we pushed and pushed, they gave us scattered slots. Today, 3 p.m., next day, 2 a.m., the next day. Who does that? So Festus Keyamo had to wade in, go to London with us, and to warn them, if you continue these stupid, foolish acts, the government of Nigeria will surely retaliate. And this is from the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We will retaliate.
So the government of Nigeria has solidly backed LPs.
Of course. I said that before the President during the IFTA. That is the truth. The government of Nigeria is behind APs, making sure that they didn't. But the government has to do more now. That is evident. There is maybe an unofficial statement about taking this airline out. Because when you charge $350, I've told you, fill up every seat, put passengers on the wings of the aircraft. You can never fear that particular place.
I see the flag of Nigeria, the map of the flag of Nigeria on most of Airpeace airline. And it gives some sense of pride.
Because we are a flag carrier.
Yeah, and that's a lot of people will say the British Airways is not owned by the British government. Yeah. Virgin Airline is not owned by the British government. No. But the government in that country will back it and will support it and make sure that nothing happens to these airlines.
Because they're British investments.
But, yeah.
They create jobs for their people.
So this is a Nigerian investment.
This is a Nigerian investment.
And for
thousands of people, thousands.
One of the rare times we're seeing the government pushing and also supporting this, isn't it?
Yeah.
I said in a rare time we've seen a government supporting a private interest for the sake of Nigerians.
Yeah, you saw Bayo Onanuga the other day telling Festus Keyamo that if anybody tries to disrupt AP's operations from within, sack immediately. That gave me hope. So the government of President Bola Tinubu is behind us. I'm here. I'm sure after the Salah celebrations, I'll be meeting with government to see how we can help. It's not just APs alone. Anything we do now is for the entire Nigerian aviation industry to succeed. If they take out APs prematurely, this country will pay dearly for it. 10 times over, quote me, billions will be lost. There will be another heavy strain on the Naira. Remember, it's only yours that can save. I invite other Nigerian airlines to join the fray. Let them come. Let all of us do international operations. Yes, it's very, very dirty. International aero politics is very dirty. But somebody has to pay the price. Like people say, oh, the London route is the most lucrative. No, it is not the most lucrative route. It is not. It has been the most lucrative because there was no competition. And there was this unspoken alliance amongst airlines coming to Nigeria to charge any amount. So it became very lucrative for them. Now that APs have entered the fray, it's no longer lucrative for APs, it's no longer lucrative for them because the fares have been so drastically brought down. And their governments are supporting them for them to be able to do what they are doing now, targeted at taking APs out of the market. So we need our government to come out and see what they can do to support. If it is a reduction of charges that we pay, we do it. Their own people are supporting them. We cannot be left to go in alone.
Right. I mean, I'd like to know what will be the way forward. You're ready for this politics. You know that it is a very dirty arena and you need to be tough to be able to. And on behalf of millions of Nigerians, we are Channels Television. We're a private entity. And we are also supporting you, giving the backing and supporting, looking at another private interest, and we're saying, kudos to you. You are making us proud, just as every private organization in Nigeria should make Nigeria proud. And we say, kudos to you. And when we wonder, what is the next step? What is the way forward? How do we guarantee that Airpeace has come to stay on this international route for the sake of Nigerians?
Yes, first of all, I have to say this to you. I know why they're all scared of Airpeace. You know why? Airpeace is in the UK bona fide. We passed the TCO audit. So we are not just there doing wet lease. We're not going into the UK on the back of wet lease operations only. No, we are there bona fide as of right. They came, audited us. We passed their TC audit, which is very, very stringent. It's all about safety. We passed it. So we got that TCO approval, which most airlines from Nigeria in the past never got. So they depended on wet lease. And when you depend on wet lease, I'm telling you, you're going to wet lease an airline from an airline over there. Whenever they wake up and want to deal with you, they use that lessor and take you out. The lessor will one day wake up and say, "Oh, we cannot continue with this. That is the end of your business." And they give the cost of wet leasing is so high. That's the reason Festus Keyamo went to Airbus to see collaboration the other time, to see if Nigerian airlines could start getting leased aircraft. All these airlines all over the world, they don't own their planes. Give it to Nigerian Airlines. We own our planes. I own all the over 34 airplanes APs have bought.
100%.
100%. We own them. We purchase them. With the ones that are still on order, it's not supposed to be so. All these big airlines you see all over the world, name them, all of them, no exception. They don't own those aircraft. What they do is that they make orders from Boeing or Airbus or from Embraer. A lessor, a financier comes in, pays for it, and leases it to them. And maybe for 17 years or 15 years, they'll be paying lease rentals back to the lessor. At the end of the lease, the lease period, the lessor will take the aircraft back and maybe sell or renew the lease. So it is very easy for them to build capacity. But over here, we have to cover money. Just like you want to buy your house, you have to carry every money. And the banking system in this country should come up and do real banking, not making money for the owners. They should come out and do real banking, not about airlines alone.
When system is frustrating businesses.
Exactly. When you go to Canada, the banking staff, his KPI is not about how many big men did you attract to the bank or about how much you're able to bring into the bank. It's about how many people you have been able to give loans to at the end of the year. If you stay abroad, every morning you see leaflets coming to your house from the banks, come and take loan. They make the society so easy. It's different in my country, whereby the banks are not really disbursing loans
so they need
to businesses. They need to stand up. I said it the other day during the Iftar with Mr. President. Let all of us help this government. We have a government now. Until another election, let's make sure the government succeeds. The only way to make the government succeed is not by lip service. Use more spare. Do that could touch the lives of the people. When the people are happy, it rubs off on the government of the day. That's the best way to do things.
Mr. Festus,
so the banks are needed to come in for this financing aspect of aviation. You have insurance, and they don't have anything to fear.
Credit that will not frustrate and
exactly
strain the businesses. Mr. Festus Keyamo said part of his ministry's plan is to create Aeropolis, where there will be a community where everything that has to do with the airport and all what have you will be created. Nigeria doesn't have any of those, because you go to Atlanta, Delta, you go to Frankfurt, Lufthansa, you go to Dubai, Emirates. There are these airports and infrastructures, or these airlines and infrastructure are typified to them. They're tied to them. In your own thinking, what do you think government needs to do in terms of airline, aviation, infrastructure that will help this business to thrive?
Well, Mr. Keyamo has been talking about this Aerotropolis. What we had before, there was no plan. We didn't meet any plan, as he said. What they're trying to do now is to bring in experts to design this Aerotropolis, because it's not just about airlines alone. You have the hotels, you have the banks, you have the rail, you have the land transport, and all of them, keen into the Aerotropolis. So it has to be designed. But then the banking system and the financial world must also be ready to develop this infrastructure. The present infrastructure is debilitating and is discouraging. So the government is saying they're going to do something about it. I think they've said about doing it, and they need every encouragement they can get to do that. If Mr. Keyamo can do that, that is kudos to the government. But the most important aspect is this leasing that he went out there in France to look for. If he can succeed in getting Nigerian Airlines to be able to access dry lease as against wet lease, that will help the industry so much. And going to the UK, you asked a question the other time, how do we intend to sustain the tempo? We, in APIS, we can play our part, but I keep on saying the government has a huge part to play. We are in the market now trying to buy more 777s to make sure we have enough. Because remember, APIS is doing Guangzhou, China. Every Wednesday, we are doing India too. We are doing Saudi Arabia, South Africa, and Dubai is about to happen again. And now we are doing London, which is a piece of cake, just 6 hours. APIS flies about 160 hours daily in this country. 160 hours of flying, unblemished daily. So this noise about London,
you
people query. Yes,
you are dealing with Embraer, you have Boeing.
Of course, on brand new planes. So this question about, oh, can he fly to London? I wonder. APIS flies 14 hours non-stop to Guangzhou, and the plane lands. Within 2 hours, that same plane takes off, start coming back another 14 or 15 hours non-stop. So why do you want to? Why can't we take ourselves away from that slave mentality that our own cannot do?
Mr. Onyema, let me ask you, and frankly speaking, because I imagine the president is watching, the whole nation is watching right now, and let's get together as a people. What do you fear the most? What is your biggest fear about what you have put your hands on in terms of these routes?
Well, if it comes to the UK route, I know it's not a child's play. It's not easy to take food away from somebody and you expect the person to lie on the ground for you.
You're expecting them that they will fight back.
They're already fighting back. I tell you one thing. Every day, APIS, we posted 100% on-time departure from Nigeria. 100%. We make sure we push out before time. We've always been landing in the UK
on time.
On time and before the time. We've never landed after the time. We've always landed before the time. There are some windows you're allowed to land before the time. You even have a window to maybe 2 minutes or 3 minutes or 5 minutes after the time. We've never landed on the time. We landed before the time. At all times. But what happens out of UK? We've not left UK on time.
Because of operational issues.
Because we are being deliberately frustrated. Different ways they will frustrate you in all ways.
You think a government-to-government bilateral talks can resolve this?
Of course. We are compiling a whole dossier of what has happened in the last 1 week for the federal government of Nigeria to step in. Because remember, there are this 820 principle. If you don't achieve 80% on-time departure out of that place, you are stopped from coming in again.
And
so they will use that to say, you can't come in again. Now, every time the ground handler, they can use the ground handlers, they can even use your catering, they can use, like sometimes the other day, we finished boarding. For 20 minutes, they were looking for ground handlers everywhere. They couldn't see the ground handlers to load one of the craters into the aircraft. And when they come, no reason will be given to you. No reason whatsoever. I've told you the one of giving us a carousel where
a dead
carousel. We need to be carrying our load. And when we got to the boarding gate, they said, oh, the system collapsed. The IT collapsed.
Yeah, so
the government needs to know this.
And the government of Nigeria needs to stand up to the government of the UK.
That if you stop APIS any day, because government has to look at our operational listen out of Nigeria to the UK. 100%. 100%. So what is
going on there? So there are those, Mr. Onyema, saying that it is not only Festus Keyamo because he's in charge of aviation. Mm-hmm. There are those who are asking the Minister of Foreign Affairs
and Trade,
the Minister of Trade and Investment to also stand up and ensure the safety of Nigeria's business interests in those countries. Because at the end of the day, they will find some excuse and come after APIS if this is not done, isn't it?
Yeah, if it's not done, they will do that. But you remember when we did our inaugural flight, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Minister of Trade, they were all there to show support that this is a Nigerian project. It's not about APIS now. It's a Nigerian project. And really, once I've always been proud of my nation, but I became prouder of being called a Nigerian. The way the present government came out, rallied around Keyamo when they fought against the slot regime they were giving us. Now, Minister of Trade also came on board. Foreign Affairs came on board, and they are doing that. Look at the Nigerian High Commission in the UK. The acting High Commissioner made sure APs were on the billboards. All the buildings surrounding that place, they were littered with videos of APs coming to London. And we've never had it so good. Never had it so good. The support from President Tinubu's government was massive, and I thank him.
Mr. Allen Onyema, we can only wish you the best. I mean, just when I was about entering the studio, I saw a videotape of a pastor in Lagos, Pastor Wole Oladiyan, having a special prayer for you.
Oh, another one, not a reference.
No. This is a pastor in Lagos, Wole Oladiyan, who organized a special prayer for you. And there's individuals also who are wishing you well.
Sorry, shall you allow me to say something? Pastor Adefarasi, where is he from? He's a Yoruba man. Yeah. The Wole
Oladiyan from Osun State.
Is a Yoruba man. Yeah. Jide Yanuwura is a Yoruba man. Jide Yanuwura that wrote the first piece warning Nigerians about what he saw in Gatwick, about the deliberate antics those who are trying to bring to bear on airpeace. I want Nigerians, we must stick with airpeace. That whatever happens, must stick with airpeace. And he was the first person to do massive positive review. What does that show? Because one Yoruba man talked about the Isiagu dress, and people were, see,
I don't even want to go into
99% of Nigerians, Yorubas, Igbos, Hausas or Fulanis or Birom, Shekiri, whatever, all Igalas, all of them support APs. The fact that one single person just in his heart tweeted some silly comments, don't distract.
Mr.
So
Onyema,
people should not bother about that.
Look, on this note, the whole nation is behind you. We're supporting you. And here at Channels Television, we're also rooting for you to succeed. When you succeed, all of us succeed. All the best. Congratulations again, Mr. Allen Onyema, proprietor and CEO of Airpeace. Thank you so much indeed for
Thank you very much. Congratulations, Nigeria.
Thank you so much indeed.
I mean, this is absolutely, they don't care about the press. Exactly. They don't care. But he's a businessman. I mean, I like that he's focusing on his business. At least he's trying to make life a bit easy for Nigerians. Welcome, see. But he's trying. I have to give him kudos for what he's doing. The man is trying. He don't over try, self. Don't be say go come. The man don't over try.
Well,
the Labour Party on Tuesday issued a warning to the Nigeria Labour Congress against hijacking the political platform, saying it lacked the power to sack the Julius Abure National Working Committee. A statement signed by its National Publicity Secretary, Obiora Ifu, the party described the stakeholders' meeting as an illegal assembly of a handful of aggrieved former members of the party, and some social media tigers were not its card-carrying members. Labour Party's National Secretary also claimed that the political commission arm of the Nigeria Labour Congress was the brainchild of President of the Congress, Joe Ajaero, which he had empowered to advance his political aspirations in 2027. Well, Kenneth Okonkwo, who is a lawyer and principal member of Nigeria's Labour Party, joins us now to discuss the latest installment of this crisis and the legality or otherwise of NLC's attempt to take over the administrative structure of the party. Thank you so much for joining us on Newsday.
Thank you very much for inviting me, and thank you, viewers at home, for joining us.
Well, I'd like you, to give us your thoughts on why you think this crisis within the Labour Party, is persisting, and of course the decision by the NLC to take over the party. How legal is it?
Well, first of all, I have to start by making it clear that the framers of our Constitution envisaged internal democracy within all political parties. And that is the only way that people can govern political parties. And I'm talking about section 223, 1A, 2A of the Constitution, which said the Constitution and the rules of every political party must provide that the election of its principal members shall be periodically done within interval of 4 years. And anytime any regime exceeds 4 years, it becomes unconstitutional. And to the extent of the stay after 4 years, it's null and void. And again, the method of electing members of the principal organs of a party has been specifically stated in the Constitution. In section 228, the Constitution gave INEC power to make laws to ensure that political parties observe internal democracy. And the National Assembly has power to make law to ensure that. And they made the law in Electoral Act. Section 82, subsection 3 is very clear that the political party must allow all members of the party to vote for the candidates of their choice or duly elected delegates from them to vote for them. And so the idea that somebody will go to a backyard and purportedly say he has organized a national convention without delegates from the world, from the local government, from the states to the national convention is illegal. And that is irrespective of whatever the constitution of the party says, because the Constitution of Nigeria is supreme and the Act of the National Assembly is superior to the constitution of the parties. So as I'm talking to you now, Abure and his members are no longer the executive of Labour Party. By the Constitution, they have exceeded 4 years. And again, since they are not members of the executive of the principal organ of the party, they don't have any right to organize any convention. They have ceased to be members. So what you had was the members now organized a stakeholders meeting because there is a lacuna, there is a vacuum in the leadership of Labour Party to chart the way forward. And they should, because nature does not exist in a vacuum. So having a stakeholders meeting, and of course NLC is a stakeholder in Labour Party, no doubt about that. There's nothing wrong with that. So I think with time, they will fashion out the best legal way to go about it. But for now, the Abure executive has nothing to do with laying claim on the leadership of Labour Party. And even the Labour Party constitution is very clear that delegates from the state must be part of the national convention. So if you are electing anybody and you sit down in a cocoon, I'll tell you where they are missing the point. And I'm talking about the Abure people. They are trying to say that the tenure of the ward and the local government is different from the tenure of the national executive. And then there is no need for ward congress or local government congress. That's where they are missing the point. That you did not organize election at the ward level to have executives of that level does not mean you will deny that level their rights to elect delegates that will go and represent them in the national convention to elect the leaders of their choice. So that's where they are mixing it up. But I would have to bear with them because most of them are not learned. Most of them are not lawyers.
All right. Well, reports are saying that the national leadership of your party said that they have proof that the national president of the NLC, Joe Ajaero, and some others have entered into a pact with the APC in order to destabilize the Labour Party and to bolster Joe Ajaero's political ambitions ahead of 2027. What do you make of that?
Well, I must have to say with absolute sorrow in my heart that that executive has been tainted with allegations of forgery So I will not be surprised if they continue on that lane, forging things. The same Joe Ajero that mobilized people to throw away the faction of Apapa in order to save Abure and save the integrity of Labour Party is the same Ajero, the Ajero that they are now trying to label that he is doing what he's doing in order to have political ambition. That is very childish, to say the least. That somebody is telling you to obey your own constitution, obey the constitution of Nigeria, obey the Electoral Act, and then suddenly the person now has ambition. And may I ask respectfully, what is wrong in having ambition? Is it not the over-ambition of Abure that is trying to destroy Labour Party? And then he's talking about ambition. Who is really the person having ambition? Joe Ajero is the president of Nigerian Labour Congress. And I know it as a fact that what they are saying is blackmail. You know one thing? Once you start doing things wrong, you start saying things wrong. They are saying all they are saying to cover up their incompetence and corruption in the handling of the Labour Party affairs. Their regime is over.
Well, very well said, but like you said, they've been tainted, with allegations of corruption. So I'm wondering, will there be an investigation into all those allegations? And can we expect that if those allegations are proven to be true, they'll be punished even though they are no longer executives of the party?
That is why I am so much attracted to Labour Party. You can see how members of Labour Party are trying to hold their own to account, saying we will not go the way of the other parties. Do you know that there is no chairman or secretary of any other major political party that is governed by officers elected by National Convention, as I'm talking to you, whether APC or PDP? And so I'm excited that I have a party that is holding its own to account, because we have committed ourselves to be committed to due process and rule of law, to be patriotic, to be altruistic, and to be committed to due process. And so, unfortunately, it is not the duty of Labour Party to investigate, to arrest, to prosecute, and to convict. It's the duty of the security agencies, and it's the duty of the courts. But as you can see, the people that are the custodian of these documents have been raising alarm publicly about the allegations that they have. All the allegations you're seeing, none of them came from outside Labour Party. All of them came from Labour Party. That is a party that wants to be self-cleansing at all times. And so I'm very excited. So if they want the documents for all these allegations, those people in the custody of it will produce them. The National Treasurer has said it publicly that she has evidence and she's producing the one she has. You can see the former acting national chairman, a woman. You can see the renegade groups. You can see some candidates in the past election. You can see NLC. All these allegations, they have been saying, what is the security agency waiting for before they do their job? I'm so proud of such a party that is willing not to go the way of the formal parties, but to make sure that whoever disobeys the law is brought to justice, no matter who he is, even if he's a member of the Labour Party. I can assure you that it is the security agencies that are dulling in their activities and in their duties.
Well, do you foresee a situation where the Labour Party presidential candidate, Peter Obi, might leave the party, as it's being insinuated, due to this self-cleansing, as you call it, and all the other issues that have engulfed the party, including him being left out of key decisions within the party that he has helped to bolster?
The secret things belong to your boss, and only the things he reveals belongs to you. If you meet Peter Obi next time, please remember to ask him that question. I know of a fact that he's a man committed to due process and rule of law. He has said it in different fora. So he will never allow himself to compromise the due process in anything that he's done. But you know, when you have a virus or a bacteria eating an organism, if you leave that organism for another one, the same virus and bacteria will try to infect the next organism. So what you do is to apply the right medication to inject that organism to decimate the virus and the bacteria, trying to eat it up. That's what we are trying to do in labor now. And by the grace of God, we will be successful. But whatever will happen after that depends on how successful we are in trying to purge Labour Party from the dissidents who have committed themselves to become outlaws rather than obedience to the rule of law. So what he will do will be consequential to all the things we should do. But I think it will be dependent on how the platform he has so chosen adheres to the rule of law and due process. We are all members of Labour Party today, and we are trying to make the best out of it. But whatever he will do after whatever happens in Labour Party happens, please, whenever you see him, you ask him.
Well, in the meantime, a couple of days back, we interviewed the APC's Kassim Afegwa, who says Peter Obi's inability to resolve the crisis in his party is an indication that he cannot rule over Nigeria and would have made a bad president. Can you react to this, please?
I'm not used to answering questions from people whose only duty is trying to seek relevance by mentioning the name of PO. It gives them essential nutrients, so allow them to live in that world. But what I'm going to say is that Kassim Afegwa was a candidate or an aspirant to the gubernatorial election of Edo State. And when they finished their first time, they produced 3 candidates. And the candidate that the governor, they sent to announce was disqualified because of their corruption and incompetence. And the same APC, the chairman that is governing APC, is going to face trial, from what we read, April 17, for his bribery, for the bribery allegation against him. As I'm talking to you now, APC has been the scourge and the worst thing that has happened to any people in Africa. 1,000 companies has gone down in Nigeria within 1 year. You and I know what the economy is going through. We are paying more now for darkness instead of light. And somebody who is consumed with all those things within the political party is still a bit shameless to begin to call PO. You have not talked about all the people that are being kidnapped, killed, women raped, and you are interested in calling PO, and you're talking about Labour Party. Let me tell you, Labour Party, the worst of Labour Party is still better than the best of APC. And you can quote me on that. They cannot even organize national convention. They cannot even bring out clean people to govern their party or govern Nigeria. What a tragedy. And then he is opening up his mouth, calling PO. Is PO the chairman of Labour Party? PO is a man who wants due process. He doesn't sit down to command a chairman to leave or don't leave. He has to go through due process. This is the man, for the moment, this is the man that is introducing what Nigeria needs. Can you imagine? Does it not surprise you that a man who is in the opposition, who is not making policies for Nigeria, is attracting more attention from all these loquacious human beings who do not have any other job except calling his name just to attract traffic? He's not the president. He is not making policies. So why are they calling on him? That is also a matter of their incompetence and joblessness and nothing to doism in their body, busybodies.
Well, On that note, we'd like to thank you for coming to join us for this discussion. Kenneth Okonkwo, Labour Party chieftain, thanks for joining us.
Anytime Kenneth Okonkwo comes, he comes with fire. I love his submissions all the time. Man, the guy comes ready to bombard. I love the fact that he said he wasn't going to respond to that comment. That was nicely done. That was so on point. No need to waste time on people who don't know whether they are left from their right, talking because they want to be popular. They want to use PO's name to gain popularity. You don't need that. You don't give them that attention that is so desire. You let them burn inside. Let them be burning inside. Don't give them the attention. Do not, because these people, sometimes I wonder, like, at the end of the day, any little thing that PO does, PO this, PO that, the poor man is going around the entire country doing what he can to elevate people's suffering. People complain. He's building borehole. People are complaining. They are saying, oh, why did he not build in his own hometown? Why did he not do this? The man is not doing it. He has already made it clear. You people don't pay attention. People don't pay attention. He's not desperate to be president, but he's desperate to see it work. He is doing his own part as a citizen. It's not his fault that he's loved by everybody. It's not his fault that whatever he does, people capture it. The man, you can tell he's not doing all those things so that you don't recognize him. He's just moving and doing. Can you keep up with all the givings? The amount of money this man has, can you keep up with it? A community walks to Niger to go and fetch water in Nigeria. Trek. Did you people see? Some people, I'm sure some of you saw the picture of somebody fetching from. You see the water, filthy water that cows are even drinking from. A man sees that and decides, you know what, let me live, let me elevate, let me help these people reduce their suffering. Let me do borehole. They say it's not up to standard. If you're going to do borehole, do better one. For village, people when they trek, how many kilometers to go fetch water? They see person when give them water so that they don't go to trek. They talk to me, they make them more. I don't understand. Nigerians say we have our own problem. I'm telling you. We're very quick to criticize, but can we do the same thing? The man is doing his part. He's acting as a citizen and he's doing his part. He's doing his part, whether you like it or not. What are you doing? What are you doing? Are you doing anything? Alex Oyema is doing his part. Which one are you doing? Nigerians are the most, I've never seen so entitlement mentality. I've never seen, now we they do ourselves. I'm telling you. How many of you who saw this video? Let me play this video. I was so upset when I saw this video, to be honest with you. I was really, really upset. I'm like, what is wrong with people for crying out loud? What is wrong with people? Why are Nigerians, honestly, their mindset, Nigerians' mindset need to change, though. A lot of work needs to be done. What is it? Somebody is trying to make you put a smile on your face. No, you will not agree. You want to, I mean, come on. They go do for now and I go complain. They not go do for now and I go still complain. I never see.
Since you've reached out to the brother, you've explained, keep quiet. But I think at this, somebody commented on my page, may you bury your children.
Can you imagine?
Serious. Why? 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 What have I done wrong? What? I am doing this because I hold my fans dear to my heart. And you know, this social media era, you have to be careful. If you keep saying, I'm not going to talk, I'm not going to talk, people will accuse you wrongly for what you did not do. You understand? People will say a lot of terrible things about you. And I'm not ready. I'm not ready because I'm so unhappy. Jumoke, the late Jumoke Aderounmu, I met her years ago as an actress, you know, gave her some roles. She featured in Jennifer's Diary. She featured in Industries. And that was it. That was it. Acted a role, got paid, and left. So sometime, I can't remember, Jide Obono will remind me. So I just, from the blues, I just messaged Jide because even after, you know, Jennifer's Diary is on a break. And we're not working on the project. So most of the cast we don't really see, only once in a blue moon. So I just messaged Jide because Jide and Jumoke, they are close. They were close somehow. I'm not, but I used to see them, they just share back then on set. I said, Jide, where is Jumoke da? He now go back to me and say, I'll come back for Jide, you can remember when they come back that they should be calling her for jobs. And I said, where is Jumoke? They should be calling her for jobs. I said, okay, fine. Let's call her for a job. I said, okay, no problem, we'll call her for jobs. But you all know, after I tried called you, I've not done any project. You know, there are people like that, a lot of talents. I watch a lot of TikTok videos because I want to discover talents. It's my passion. So I just saw the post. Pascaline, Alex just reached out to me that they wrote something online. I said, oh, what is it? I just went there. Jumoke's brother was so upset and nobody checked on Jumoke. I said, I know he's grieving. I know it's not easy to lose someone. I've lost my mom. Nobody knows what I went through. I went through a lot. I was depressed losing my mom. I went through a lot. Okay. And I said, okay. So I reached out to the guy. I saw his post. I reached out. I'll put the post on my Insta story so you all can see. I said, oh, I'm so sorry you lost your sister. I feel your pain. I said, nobody told me that your sister was sick. Pascaline did not tell me anything. I said, I don't turn deaf ears to people that are in need, that are next to me. I said, I see that they wrote that I don't help. I do help, but I don't make noise about helping. I don't like it. I give, I hate it. I don't like talking, shouting about giving. Bad. Giving should be done privately. The ones you see me do online, I was on TikTok because I love TikTok a lot. I love to watch it before sleeping. So I have this family that they make me happy. I laugh, you know, they cook. You know, I love people. I love the grassroots people. So I watch their content a lot. You can see that in my movies. So I reached out to them. Oh, I want to sponsor your education. I give randomly, skit makers. I see people doing stuff. Support them. What more do you want me to do? Please. I have to do this because this has to do with somebody's life. I'm so happy because personally, you don't know what I'm going through. I work hard round the clock. People will say, oh, she doesn't support her colleagues. She doesn't attend events. I live in Amen Estate, Eleko. That's where my studio is. Before I drive down to Lekki or Ikoyi for an event, they're not going to finish the event. Please. I don't beef any filmmaker. I do my thing. I face where I'm going to. The records I've been able to break is by the grace of God. Do not forget, I've got my trying moments too. During COVID, remember, my mom passed on. Remember, politics, I was backlashed. Marriage, remember. Somebody now said you will lose your children. I think that's too much. I'm here trying to relax, trying to rest, to get my life together. I sent a message to that guy, Jumoke's brother. He saw it. He didn't reply. I said, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't hear. I don't know anything about your sister. I don't know anything. I don't go to blogs. They send different things of blogs to me. As long as my name is not being mentioned, I do my thing. I face where I'm going to. Yes, I'm strict. I'm very strict. Yes, I will not take nonsense. I'm focused. Whoever works with me that wants to go can go. Whoever wants to stay can stay. Please.
Say goodbye to old, costly cable TV once and for all. This revolutionary...
Nigerians, make una take am easy o. No be so. Me, I never ever see Funke come out come dey debunk anything. Never. I've never ever seen it. That woman, they try. You give flowers to whom flowers are due. She's focused. Now her own she dey do. For somebody to now go and make comments like that under her comment section is just uncalled for. There really needs to be a transformation of mind in Nigeria. This entitled mentality is crazy. Look at what Oyema said. Look at what Abati was saying to him. Have you gone to see them on public national TV? So bribery is just so accepted on national TV. I tell him to go and see who. Are they not doing their jobs? Don't they have jobs? Do they know how long it took for the man to get to where he is? Everybody get to do im own part. Not be only that man, not be only people when they do, they try, they provide opportunities for people. Nigerians will still turn around and still drag. I don't understand though. It's some level of wickedness that is inside the minds of the citizens themselves. That was very annoying. I had to play that. Anyway, let me play. This is the last video I'm going to play for the rest of the night. If you have anything to say, please hop up and talk about it. Today, for me, it was all about Yema. I wanted to come and play his video here so that we can both hear what his struggles has been and how he has come, where he has got to, how he got to where he's gotten to in regards to this international air flights, and how we can support him. We need to support that man wherever you are. If he's flying into America, please support him. If it's Canada, support him. Anywhere he is, support him, I beg. We need him to function.
Be kind and be cheerful giver.
More voters' remorse from northern Nigeria, this time from Northern Elders Forum. Their spokesman, Mr. Abdulaziz Suleiman, while speaking to The Guardian, expressed their regret for voting Tinubu in 2023. He said, quote, "The North made a mistake in voting Bola Tinubu to the presidency in 2023, and it is unlikely that they will repeat the same error in the future. They have learned from their past misstep and will strive to select a candidate who can unite the country and govern in the best interests of all Nigerians. Moving forward, the North will be more cautious in selecting a candidate for the presidency. They will prioritize someone who is seen as more inclusive, less controversial, and more aligned with the interests of all regions of the country. The mistake of supporting Tinubu in 2023 has taught them the importance of unity and consensus in selecting a candidate for the highest office in the land." Unquote. Mr. Suleiman said this in response to a question when he was asked about P2B's charitable donations in the North, where he donated many boreholes and even cash to many people in the North. Well, voter remorse is very real, and it seems to be coming more from the North. The other day, it was Islamic clerics that were expressing their regret for backing Tinubu and Muslim ticket. Other times, northern politicians have expressed their regret for backing Tinubu in the 2023 presidential election. To the contrary, there are politicians who didn't back Tinubu in the 2023 presidential election. They are now saying that they will back him even if he wants to recontest in 2027. They are saying this to tell people that, hey, you people were warned in the beginning, but you refused to listen.
Decided to take Indomie, 200 naira, and voted for rocks across the country.
People are hungry.
Let them die. It's their fault. Yeah, I'm supporting Tinubu 100%.
You're supporting Tinubu
100% to deal with Nigerians. People like you. So that when next election comes, I will now see whether when people bring money, you will vote for them or you will do your conscience.
Mr. Galadima there, he's a PDP member. He supported Atiku Abubakar in the presidential election. It's a pity people have taken it this way. Even many people in the South feel this way whenever they hear stories about Northerners expressing their voters' remorse. They always say, hey, we will back Tinubu this time around since you people refused to listen during the campaigns. It's clear that the Core North is feeling the voters' remorse more than any other region in the country. And to think that Tinubu won the Core North, he defeated Atiku in the Core North, it means that they voted for Tinubu more than they voted for Atiku. Yes, whether the voter numbers are correct or wrong, The most important thing is that the core North voted for Tinubu in their thousands or even millions. This is despite the fact that the Northern Elders Forum, which is the foremost forum in the North, they invited all the major candidates during the presidential election campaigns. Tinubu came there with El-Rufai and many others. He said all he had to say, but the most important takeaway in his visit was when El-Rufai started accusing Peter Obi of locking him up in Anambra State when he came to monitor the elections, that he used the SSSS to prevent him from leaving the hotel to come out and monitor the elections. Atiku Abubakar, when he cited, he didn't mince his words. He said, what Northerners need is to vote a fellow Northerner who understands everything. He coined it in many ways, but the most important thing is that he was encouraging Northerners to vote for him alone, not any other person. That's based on his ethnicity, that he's from the North.
What the evaluation Northerner needs, somebody who is from the North and who also understands the other parts of Nigeria. This is what the Northerner needs. He doesn't need a Yoruba candidate or an Igbo candidate.
The day that Peter Obi came, he told them all he had to say. Amidst massive standing ovation, he talked to them in his usual mantra about Niger, about the massive uncultivated agricultural land in the North, that Nigeria stands to earn more money from agriculture in the North than oil. None of the candidates sounded more convincing than Peter Obi. He also did not fail to defend himself against the accusation of El-Rufai.
Thank you.
I want to buy your house. I can pay you cash for your house, no matter what condition it's in. If you need to...
In the end, Nigerians expected the Northern Elders Forum to endorse one candidate, but they failed to do so. No one knew that they went behind closed doors and decided to back Tinubu. Maybe they didn't decide that, but looking at the events, they are among the many that are complaining that they voted for Tinubu that is failing them. They are regretting that they voted for him. Also, the former spokesman of the Northern Elders Forum, an elder brother to Dati Baba Ahmed, he took up an appointment with the current administration. He's a special advisor to Shetima. So it seems that they truly endorsed him behind closed doors without announcing to Nigerians that they have chosen to back Tinubu for the presidential election. You see, the lessons being learned here is not just about voting Tinubu, but about what Labour Party and Peter Obi did during the presidential election campaigns. Peter Obi went to remote towns against the advice of security agencies. He wanted to market himself to everyone, to give them that chance of looking at all the candidates and deciding, hey, I want to back this man, I want to back this person. So in all this, going by the numbers that Labour Party pulled in the presidential election, not the INEC allocated figures, Labour Party was able to prove that if there are 4 presidential candidates in a presidential election, that if a candidate wins 3 geopolitical zones and gathers a few votes in other regions, that the person will win the election. So what it means is that the core North, the Northwest, cannot decide who becomes the president. They always feel like they have the votes, that they must decide the winner. But that's not the case. Before 2015, Buhari was always winning the North, but he couldn't win until he won Southwest. Not really winning it, but he got substantial votes in the Southwest. Remember that when he was contesting, it was only 2 presidential candidates. Why this is important is because during the campaigns, the Northern Elders Forum were saying that they want to hear from the candidates the program they have for the North. They were emphasizing North as if North is Nigeria, that Nigeria starts and ends in the North. But it's good that their language has changed. The spokesman of the Northern Elders Forum said that in the future, they will back a candidate that will represent the interest of all regions in Nigeria. This is how to be inclusive. If we truly want to build a nation, leaders should not be talking about themselves, their region, or their ethnicity. They should be talking about everyone, how everyone will benefit from the system. The oil money that is sustaining Nigeria today comes from a particular region of the country. And in that region, people of that region are not talking the way Northerners talk during elections. They always make it about themselves, as if they are different from others, as if they have a special privilege. The fact that others are not talking in that manner doesn't mean that they don't understand what they are doing. So this time around is a time of understanding that everyone in the Nigerian project is equal. No one is higher or better than the other. We all join hands to build a nation. Let no one feel that he is superior to the other or saying that, hey, we will not stand by and this person from a particular region or a particular ethnicity becomes president. No, things like that bring division in the polity. Instead of working on something that will unite us, leaders talk because of their selfish interest. It leads to division in the country. So going forward, that's assuming they are serious about it, that they are not doing this to be noticed by Tinubu. They should use this time, instead of just complaining and expressing their regret, let them use this time to educate their people. The most important thing here is education. Yes, not that northern politicians are not aware that education matters, but they like it this way because it's easier for them to control the people. During elections, all they need to do is to campaign with money and influence everyone. They will just vote for them without asking questions. And the cycle continues. When is it going to end? And we keep blaming leaders. It is time we started blaming ourselves, because when you make one mistake, the second time you do the same thing again, the third time, it is no longer a mistake. It has become a way of life, because people can't, after voting for Buhari in 2015, let's even excuse that one because of the sentiments against Goodluck Jonathan at the time. But the second time in 2019, people still voted for him. And the third time, the same party that everyone has seen that, look at what they have done to Nigeria, that everything has become worse than they met it in 2015. They still went ahead and voted en masse for the same party. Now, 2027 is coming. They are talking about it early enough, despite the fact that the election is still 3 years away. Let's all watch and see how people will vote in 2027. By that time, we will know who to blame, whether it is the leaders or the people this time around. Thanks for watching.
My people. Hey. In 2019, we voted PDP. Obi to be president. Abio, my brother, help me tell them, louder for the people in the back. Oh, at the end of the day, again, like I said, the reason why me come out now because of Oyema. I beg I dey beg everybody. Make una patronize this man. This thing when he dey do, not be small feat. It's not easy. Let's support him. If you're in Nigeria, you have family in Nigeria, please let them. I don't know if Air Peace travels locally. If he does, people should support the man to take his business to the next level. I agree with him that the banks need to get involved. Instead of making more money, go and bring funds. Let them start funding people with real, genuine wealth with enterprise. Like Onyema. Let them give him loan so that he can do what he needs to. The government needs to back him, because running an airline in Nigeria is not small money. All these other foreign airlines that are flying into Nigeria, their government supports them. It's time for Nigeria to learn how to support its own people. It's time, especially with Onyema. Abeg, make una support am. If una wan buy ticket for una people back home, una buy Air Peace. If they travel to London, buy Air Peace. Hopefully, you can start the New York leg or Houston or whichever one. Buy Air Peace. If it means you have to travel to New York to travel out internationally, please do so. Buy your ticket early, fly into the states of concern, whether it is New York, whether it's Texas. Hop on Air Peace all the way. He needs our support. You see what happened? The man came into the airline business, all the prices were slashed. All the price, literally within a day or two, all the other airlines started cutting down prices. You know how long British Airways has been doing Nigerians anyhow? Treat us anyhow. British Airways, Virgin Atlantic, Emirates, all those people. And they treat us like nonsense. Meanwhile, na Nigerians travel pass. Na our money that they chop. So let's support our own. Abeg una. And all those people that are waiting for bribe, Nigerians, they need to get up their asses and start working. Not be so that we need to the mindset needs to change in Nigeria, shall no go lie. And rest in peace to this junior pope I heard. The guy eventually passed away. Very sad, very, very, very sad. That was an unavoidable unaliving. Completely unavoidable. I heard that they rushed the guy to the morgue. Instead of them, they couldn't even do CPR on him, first of all. They didn't even know to do. But they took the guy to the morgue. It was the morgue attendant that told them that the man was still alive. Hey, Nigeria. Meanwhile, maybe a lot of water has entered that guy's lungs. By the time they took him to the hospital, maybe it was already too late. Aye. Anyway, rest in peace to him. Rest in peace to everyone Nigeria is just taking away anyhow. Anyway, my people, let me end this show at this point. I go see you again. I'm going to be doing I have a show scheduled on Saturday at 7 a.m. Wanna try and make a about Edo election. Everybody that is interested in the Edo election, please choose your candidate and come and tell us why you are supporting the candidate you are supporting. Let's hear it. I want to see myself. I want to learn. I can listen to people. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. Thank you. Kene, I thank you. Romari, my darling, I thank you. Neka, please take care of yourself. Oh. Thank you for stopping by. Highly favored. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you guys on my next one. Have a wonderful night, too. Bye.